Step 8, return to the original issue. Now it's time to go back to the original issue that you chose in Step 1. You may want to say it aloud to see how it feels and then re-rate the intensity of it now. If it's a 0 or a 1, congratulations, you've just cleared an issue. That sure was fast, and this is how the system works. If it's a 2 or 3, depending on how much time you have, you might consider this cleared enough for now, or you can continue on and work through the process, choosing a different sub-issue from Step 2. Continuing through the sub-issues is the most effective way to clear the main issue. I recommend re-rating all of the sub-issues at this point to see if any of the others have decreased intensity. This often happens when you work on one of the sub-issues. The other ones decrease usually too. So if your number was 3 or more on that original one in Step 1, go to Step 2 and choose another sub-issue with which to work and continue through the process using this new issue as your focal point. When you begin working with a new sub-issue from Step 2, you may want to use a fresh worksheet just to keep things clear. Basically, you'll be doing rounds of this process on all of the sub-issues until you are able to chip away at the parts and pieces of the main issue. Once you clear or reduce enough of them, and it might not need to be all of them, it might only need to be 1 or 2, the main issue will likely collapse or at least start to reduce in intensity. It does take some time to do this, so be sure to be patient with yourself and the process. This is how you'll get the best results. If after choosing another sub-issue or a few of them, and you've worked through the worksheet and you still haven't had any reduction or much reduction in intensity for the sub-issues or even the original issue, check out the troubleshooting issues and the troubleshooting guide in Module 4. Testing is a good practice to have when tapping. It's a way to check that an issue is fully cleared before moving on. This way, it won't seem like the issue keeps coming back, which can sometimes happen if you've only done surface tapping. There are both simple and advanced ways to test. For now, we'll focus on a really simple testing method. Try testing when your intensity gets close to a 0. Say your statement aloud and really try to bring up any emotion connected to it. Try to make the feelings or images more vivid so that you can check to see if there are any parts left that need some tapping. If doing this brings up emotion again, first check to make sure that it's about the same issue and that it hasn't changed to something else. If it is about the same exact issue, then your testing has shown you that the issue is not fully cleared, and you can return to the rounds of tapping to further reduce the intensity. An example of this step, so we'll go back to the student loan example. So I feel stressed about my student loan. If this is cleared down to a 1 or a 0, you could just say that aloud and really imagine all the feelings and scenarios that it brings up. Notice if more comes up. And so if it does, you can continue working with it until everything imaginable connected with it has no intensity. That's when you know that it's fully cleared. Depending on the issue, this may take some persistence, and it may take quite a few sessions of tapping. And that's okay, because it really does work quite quickly.